Beware of spoilers, you have been warned.
Succession, the final season. So Greg starts off the season with the reputation of being a playboy. Hashtag disgusting brothers.
Did you rummage to fruition?
It's so interesting how we all view Greg as the one with a moral compass, but we really see in season 4 that he's just a Roy like everyone else. It's also funny knowing Shiv is pregnant before it's revealed. Like, the way she acted after her phone call with Tom, I was like, LMAO, OMG, hormonal much? Even Roman was like, dude, chill. I noticed, okay, she drinks water whenever alcohol is present or only takes a few sips when she has alcohol. She didn't do drugs with Madsen. The morning after Logan died, a grieving Shiv has told her baby is healthy and there's so many emotions on her face. She was caressing her stomach in the last episode before Kendall came over to her. She wants to be a mom and cares about her child, and I will die on that hill. The siblings are never in sync. Shiv and Kendall are always ganging up on Roman. They just don't take him seriously. Roman and Shiv will always turn on Kendall anytime he suggests they work under him. Kendall and Roman are constantly undermining Shiv, and she never feels respected as their sister or as a woman or as even their equal. It's been interesting to watch the siblings fall off the ego and entitlement and realize that they are, as Roman later puts it, bullshit. Different moments and facial expressions signified this every time they fell down another level of insignificance throughout the season as the life that they knew faded away around them. There's like a solid timeline for each of them in regards to this concept. I just haven't really analyzed it or broken down it much. Connor's wedding. How do I even begin to break down this episode? I want to watch the episode again just to deep dive into everyone's reactions, but like, that's so sad. I absolutely love Kendall in this episode. Kendall is just a shit show, but when it counts, he knows how to be a good big brother. He's trying to keep it together. His siblings are a wreck, and he's trying to keep the focus and cool on this chaotic situation. Roman's world is falling apart. Logan was the center of all of the worlds, for better or for worse. Roman proceeds to play it off with sarcasm, as the Roys tend to do, throwing around the pre-grieved term and joking about trauma because that's his instinctive defense mechanism, as it always has been. Shiv? Man. That's a little girl who lost her dad. Emmy award-winning Sarah Snook came to set that day.
Dad? Daddy?
Tom later tells Shiv that she is incapable of love, but I honestly can't agree with that after watching this episode. Comparing her devastation to her brother's just losing control, like, it's so different. I absolutely love Tom in this episode. Also, he showed all the siblings compassion and knew how to talk to them. No one else could have really handled that phone call better, and the way that he talked to Shiv, despite their damaged relationship, was so bittersweet. Shiv held the phone pretty much the entire time, even if Tom wasn't even talking. I think it was just to have him near for any updates, though they knew he was like gone, so I also think it was more to just have him near for comfort. After Shiv released the statement, Shiv accepted a hug from Tom, also bittersweet. She ended up riding home with him, claiming she just wanted the rundown, but I think it was just to be with him on the sad journey home so she wasn't alone. This episode was such a human display of the characters. Tom is not the greatest guy, but he was emotionally available for Shiv as he always has been, and Shiv, despite her daddy issues and marital strife, still grieved and sought comfort like any normal person. Her brothers grieved in their own way and tried to comfort each other, but after getting to know them for 3 seasons, I think we all understand why Tom's support was the most effective. Heartbreaking performances, spectacular writing. Talk about the red wedding, am I right? Doom is near. We're about to sit through 6 episodes of Logan winning from beyond the grave as the Roy Empire falls apart. In episode 4, following Logan's death, obviously a lot of business crap had to be accomplished, namely, interim CEO. In the end, with the push of Kendall and Rome, the COOs take the temporary position. Shiv is thrown aside, and just like that, Tom just won the Game of Thrones. Oh, what did I just say? Yeah, The way Shiv was sidelined during the interim CEO discussion, like how does Shiv not expect something similar to happen when one of them is officially CEO? Thus directly impacts Shiv's vote in the last episode, and I can't believe there are people on the internet still shocked over this so-called plot twist. It has been written the whole time. More about Shiv because, honestly, season 4 is just all about Shiv for me. What was Shiv thinking about this girl on the inside thing? Like, she's ready to betray her brothers for the way they leave her out, but does she even like Madsson? Does she even want what he wants? That's the thing about Shiv, is that she instinctively acts out immediately when she feels betrayed, which I guess happens a lot, so literally half the time she's acting out on that bitter instinct rather than a well-thought-out decision based on intelligence or even her own genuine desires. She could be smart if she just stops and thinks sometimes.
You're scheduling your grief?
This scene was so heartbreaking to watch, but like honestly, top 3 moments of Tom and Shiv. It's already established showing emotion is considered a weakness, and this is not the time for Shiv to appear weak. Tom was genuinely concerned, and even though Shiv is like, F off, he approaches her anyways. No one else would do that. He knows what she needs right now, and she allows herself to cry when he offers his shoulder. Like, yeah, top 3 moments of the couple ever. Like, she needs him whether she wants to or not. But, God, man, the on-screen chemistry between Matthew and Sarah has never been so intense until this episode. It took 3.5 seasons for their chemistry to shine like this, and that indicates such a huge shift for Tom and Shiv. Shiv is wanting back in. Tom is still clearly hurt, but also still cares about Shiv and is trying to help her as she's dealing with her grief. Doesn't help that Shiv's instinctive response to any vulnerable emotion or moment is to play it off with sarcasm and pain. That's on brand with the Roy family.
And I always agreed to all the compartments, but it seemed to me that I was going to be caught between you and your dad.
Tom admits he betrayed Shiv for money, but then called her out as she would have done the same. Even Tom is like, yo, you're as bad as I am. The character himself just straight up said they were the same. They are both equally horrible. They were made for each other. They are both horrible. I just want to emphasize this because Tom simps are always talking shit about Shiv, arguing that Tom could have done better. Like, it makes me laugh so much, but you guys are forgetting who Tom is for real, for real.
I wonder if we shouldn't clear the air.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I broke down this scene in great detail in my 8,000 plus word thesis about Tom and Shiv. Link in description, shameless plug, go check out my blog. The chaotic election episode.
It's lemonade! It's lemonade! Jesus H. Christ!
Why she decided to try to apologize to Tom when he was having a panic attack over touchscreens, I will never understand. A pissed off Tom, exhausted and high on cocaine, dropped the "you sort of killed your dad" line, and Shiv's retaliation was basically, well, F you, I'm pregnant. Then Tom had the audacity to ask if it was true, and Shiv looked utterly heartbroken. Oh my god. These people. The funeral, OMG. Yuan's speech was fire. Like, he said it like it was. After giving some insight to Logan's character, he didn't sugarcoat anything.
I loved him, I suppose. And I suppose some of you did too, in whatever way he would let us.
Then he dropped the line.
I try. I don't know when, but sometime he decided not to try anymore.
I don't see too many people talk about Ewan's speech, and I don't know why, because it was the hard truth, and I loved it. Superb character analysis to his own brother. Applause, Kieran Culkin. Roman's breakdown. Dang. He spent 3 seasons being okay with not being okay. Since Logan died, he's been losing a lot of self-control you never realized he had, given how chaotic he is. He's resorted to anger more than humor and has become more toxic in a not-so-funny way. The breakdown crumbled me. And again, Kendall stepping up. You're proud of him, but you also have to remember that he can't be this all the time. He has moments when he is strong and put together, but he falters too much, and that's the heartbreaking part about Kendall, is that he can stand, but he just can't stay standing no matter how much we all want him to. He's been such a bouncing force so far this season, but I'm just waiting for him to crash down as I watch his great speech honoring his father. Shiv saying he kept you out, like, she does the same thing.
When he let you in, when the sun shone, it was warm. Yeah, it was warm in the light.
The I ever wanted, and they never got it. Their goodbyes are so somber because their lives will forever be unfulfilled because of the emptiness he created in each of his kids. Terrible, but great. That's who Logan was. The final episode. The way Kendall said, "I got this," and then the main theme starts playing for the final time. Heart stopped. Tom went to plead his case just for job security and left that bar with the title of CEO. Greg blabbed as usual. Instead of the end of all things, it only indirectly secures Shiv's vote later. Tom's wives placed him in the top. Also, Greg and Tom are the same. They betray their favorite people for survival. I love them so much. I feel like I've been blabbing about Shiv and the siblings this whole time, but our favorite couple has always carried the series and has continued to do so. They're often the highlight of many episodes, and I miss them so much.
Because she's brought a ludicrously capacious bag.
Shiv has been alone all season. Back and forth with Tom, tossed aside by her brothers, later tossed aside by Matsson. Why are people so unsure that she is who she is, and why do people not understand her final vote?
Yeah, Shiv, you should probably know. It's me.
Tom. Brother. It is you. Has been for a long time. Bran the Broken, welcome to the Iron Throne, which the metaphorical Iron Throne here at the end of Succession is also metaphorically on fire as it was at the end of Game of Thrones. The dragon is named Matsson. The vote. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. While Kendall has been on focus this season, his arrogance has been showing since the funeral. It's a reminder on who he is. This is the Kendall that would have failed Waystar had the vote gone his way. Furthermore, Roman and Shiv will never work well under him. They knew this, but initially decided to remain loyal to Kendall just for the sake of going against Matsson and keeping the company within the family. Roman had his doubts, but Shiv, she did not want the rest of her life to be what this whole season has been. She saw her brother's behavior before the vote and something just snapped in her. She instinctively voted against Kendall. Almost all of Shiv's actions and decisions in the whole series have been instinctive reactions to get revenge on people who she feels have wronged her. It's why she so easily turned on Matsson the day before, and it's what she did after her brothers kept pushing her aside before that. After seeing Kendall's behavior that morning, Shiv's instinctive reaction was actually preemptive for once. Her vote was against Kendall, not in favor for Tom. Roman would have probably voted no if their argument happened first, because those two have always been so in sync, as I've said before, when it comes to these decisions. The argument between Kendall and Shiv is not only heartbreaking, but also ridiculous. This is a reminder that they are not serious people and are acting like children fighting over a toy. Kendall's rage convinces Shiv in the end, but I think her mind was kind of made up already. As Roman has said, they're bullshit. Roman has accepted this for a while, Shiv's just starting to realize this, and Kendall is about to confront this fact as he leaves the meeting today. I know Kendall has a fan base and people rooting for him, but he was never gonna work. As Tom has stated,
My hunch is that you're going to get fucked. Because I've seen you get fucked a lot. And I've never seen Logan get fucked once.
that's not just an observation on how Logan always wins. That's a defining trait that separates Kendall from his father. No matter how hard Kendall has tried or will ever try, he will never be like Logan the way he wants to be. He is always programmed to fail where Logan has succeeded. That is the great tragedy of the character. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is how Logan won after he died.
You are a fucking piece of shit. But I got you.
Disgusting brothers, the Tomlet, Nero and Sporus, together forever, the real victors on this day. Alright, having some opinions after watching the final scene and the characters' final moments here. Yeah, not a single thing anybody tells me can convince me that Kendall does not unalive by the end of the week. Kendall walked out of that boardroom and was dead by the time he got to the elevator. Like, he was never going to be able to exist in a world that was not his father's. He's literally said that much before. He doesn't know who he would be without his father's company. He's given so much to Waystar. He's given so much to Logan, so much against Logan. It's just been one loss after another since he lost the first vote and got fired in season 1. Now, Tom as CEO? I don't understand why people don't believe in Tom as CEO. First of all, it's an empty suit. How exactly would he fail? It would be so against his character and against his role as a pain sponge to ever do anything Matsson disapproves of. Servile. Servile to the end. He always will be, but is now respected for it. Second of all, has anyone watched The Office? At some point, Dunder Mifflin was going bankrupt, and the Scranton branch was the only successful branch. The high table came up to Michael Scott and was like, "Hey, dude, how you doing that?" And Michael was like, "Dude, I don't know, but hey." Tom Wambsgans is the Michael Scott of Waystar. He'll be fine. Meanwhile, Siobhan Roy is the Severus Snape of the series. I can write an essay on both of them, and they are both amongst my favorite characters in their respective series. It's a joy analyzing both characters, and their actors are brilliant to watch. I am that crazy fan of the most controversial characters of Succession and Harry Potter, and you shall fight me over this. To my fellow Last Airbender fans, I also believe Shiv is the Zuko of the series, except we only see the season 1 Zuko through the duration of the 4 seasons. But just like Zuko, Shiv is knocked back. She was in a lose-lose situation and is now in her own version of rock bottom as she has to move on from the CEO drama and the trauma her dad left behind. She will struggle, and that's what will make her who she is. There is a whole redemption arc that we will never see, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I elaborate on this in my thesis on Tom and Shiv. Like, I literally break it down how Shiv is literally Zuko, or could be Zuko. I literally wrote almost 9,000 words as to why Tom and Shiv stay together, but the way the car scene is written in the script explains why in just one simple paragraph. On the central console, he offers an upturned hand, not eager but available, a little regal. Shiv puts her dry hand on his, no squeeze, just contact. Something steel here, an accommodation, equilibrium that could last with a certain stability. Proxy wars and détentes for many years to come. Nothing needy from either side. A queen and a prince. 2 bombs being transported with care. Holy shit, y'all. Again, read my thesis for my deep analysis, link in description. But man, wow. They together happily ever after forever. Okay, thank you, bye. But like for real, like Shiv could have gotten an abortion and a divorce and moved on with her life, but she went through with this pregnancy and straight up asked Tom for a real relationship. I've seen comments about how she'll always resent her child and how she's stuck in a marriage she doesn't want to be in. Did you people even watch season 4? At the end of season 3, I was all for divorce, but season 4 Shiv changed my mind on that. It's not all on the surface. You really have to read Sarah Snook's facial expressions to see the truth. Now Roman, he's the real enigma here. Like, what happens? I have no idea. Does he turn a new leaf and start working to earn his own pile? Does he become a bum and drink his fortune away? Does he become a freeloader off of Connor and or Shiv? Does he run home to mommy? Does he unalive himself like Kendall definitely does? Does he become a business professor? Does he work in fast food? Does he become Heisenberg? Does he go through with the purchase of Pierce? Does he return as the turkey mascot? Like, Roman's future is the only one I can't really predict. Like, your theory is as good as mine. But Succession was actually about Greg Hirsch. Greg Ori Hirsch. We came into the Roy family just as Greg did. We have seen him snitch his way up the ranks as Tom's right hand and Kendall's occasional bitch. He established himself as a golden resource of information and an important asset to the company and family as he developed into the socially awkward slime ball that Tom groomed him to be. Every major event was directly or indirectly caused by Greg. When something crazy was happening, he was always there. Tom and Greg were basically the same. Greg started at the bottom and is now in the CEO's pocket. He was the only one who kind of won. He's a piece of shit, but he's Tom's piece of shit. He may have been the one Roy that seemed to have a conscience, but that's just to hide how dangerous he truly is. One word from him, he could single-handedly start World War III for real. Overall review? What else can I say that I haven't already? The writing, the music, the acting, the line delivery, the comedy, the drama. This is obviously one of the greatest shows I've ever watched. The characters are so complex. I literally wrote over 8,000 words about Tom and Shiv. As someone who appreciates good acting and complex characters, Succession was the perfect show for me. Straight into my top 5. I want to rewatch the series. I want to do video edits on the series. I want to convince my friends to watch this. This show is the funniest and saddest show I've ever seen in my life. The dialogue is shocking and things get super chaotic. It's a great analysis on high society and generational trauma. It explores different aspects of humanity and class structure. It's super fun, but you always end up crying during the credits. It is such an experience. Worth all the hype. Worth all the Emmys. Go watch it. The original God of War trilogy. Starting with the original game, God of War. This is the great origin story of our main man, Kratos. He was a Spartan captain who pledged allegiance to the god of war Ares, doing whatever the god told him to do in order to defeat his enemies. This led to Kratos murdering his own wife and daughter under Ares' orders. Their ashes would stain his skin white as he would continue over a decade of servitude to the gods in hopes to forget his past sins. This just leads to more war and death, like bro was ruthless, willingly killed civilians, like Kratos was a man on a mission. With a few cinematic fights here and there, you're literally just slashing people and monsters to death for the most part. This isn't a bad thing. I mean, this is Kratos. I think a God of War game fails if it doesn't make the player feel super powerful in battle. The balance of the constant fighting is presented through puzzles and some platforming. Kinda mid, maybe it's because it was held back by console and controller capabilities of the time. The game ends after Kratos kills Ares. He learns he will forever live with the memory of his wife and daughter and tries to unalive himself for Athena to be like, "Hey bro, you're the new god of war." Thus, Kratos sits in the pantheon forevermore, watching over soldiers who praise his name for centuries to come.
Strike that. Reverse it.
God of War 2! It's time to attack the pantheon. So this sequel is just a sleeper hit and a setup for the third game. Yes, the gameplay of the first installment is very much polished here. We get the grappling hook feature, which is cool, and the different types of weapons are fun. You go through this entire journey to get to this weird time heist cliffhanger that really bothers you if you think about it too much, but just think of the rage and vengeance and go with it, because that third game, it's the bee's knees. God of War 3, this is the great turning point of the franchise. Not that the first two games were bad, but I just feel like the third game just set itself as the pinnacle of the trilogy. The graphics, the gameplay, the music, the cinematic battles and animations, it's all come to this. Kratos, son of Zeus, god of war, is here to bring down the pantheon in the most glorious fashion. You can nitpick flaws all day long, but the scale of this game is epic, and you just feel super cool playing this game, and this is what the God of War franchise stands for. In the ending sequence, Kratos defeats Zeus and is forced to confront the guilt that he has been dealing with through his acts of vengeance and wrath. Kratos then sacrifices himself to give humanity hope, much to Athena's disdain, given her whole Pandora's box magic, whatever the hell.
Years of academy training wasted!
I guess this was a sign of growth and healing on Kratos' part. With this being the ending of the game, this whole trilogy is given modern Greek tragedy vibes in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? Star of the week is everyone's daddy.
I'm the daddiest daddy. I'm the daddiest daddy. Am I the daddiest daddy? Because I've been seeing that name get thrown around a lot to other people, and I just want to make sure that I'm the daddiest of the daddies.
What is his ancestral background? Like, Wikipedia has links to his family. So first of all, his grandfather was from Mallorca, home to Rafa Nadal. There you go, tennis fans. But the rest of his family are Chilean. Pedro was born in Chile to interesting parents. His dad was a part of the Castilian Basque aristocracy, which was like, I guess, the 1% of Chile, the top 1% of Chile, and is of the Balmaceda family, which is such a politically important family. It has its own Wikipedia page. His mother is the cousin of the nephew of a Chilean president from the 70s. The same cousin was apparently a part of a political coup and leader of a revolution group tied to complicated politics that I don't understand. When Chile became under a military dictatorship regime, Pedro's parents were considered enemies of the state because of said cousin, and they left and fled the country when Pedro was just an infant. Is this not a few plot points away from being Daenerys Targaryen's backstory? What the hell? His family ended up in Texas for a bit before moving to the LA area by the time Pedro was 11. From there, he seemed to have a normal LA childhood, getting into acting at the art school that he went to, and eventually graduating from New York University with an acting degree. After graduating college in 97, it would be 17 years before Pedro would reach the beginning of his career. He really struggled through the years, getting guest roles in shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Without a Trace, Homeland, CSI, and like 3 versions of Law & Order. He had recurring roles in Graceland, The Good Wife, Red Widow, and The Mentalist. Now, we all know Papa's big break, Oberyn Martell. I remember, like, when I did watch that season in, 2017, 18, I was an Oberyn fangirl. Best character, favorite part of the season. I think it wasn't until the Red Wedding in season 3 that I started really getting hyped about the show And season 4 was a turning point, as I was properly obsessed by the end of that season. Tyrion and Oberyn were a huge part of this. So skip a few years later, when I started seeing Pedro's fan base grow as he started to get many other awesome opportunities, I saw him as that dude from Game of Thrones, and I was so excited to see what else he can do with his career. As his career started to pick up, he appeared in movies including Prospect, Sweet Little Lies, The Equalizer 2, Kingsman, The Golden Circle, Burn Notice, Adjustment Bureau, and Triple Frontier with his bestie Oscar Isaac. Continuing on his legacy in television, Pedro starred as Javier in the 2 seasons of the show Narcos. Have yet to see it, but I will probably watch it at some point.
This is the way.
The moment Pedro Pascal became a pop culture icon. Actually, the moment he became daddy. I have only seen the first season, but I enjoyed it very much. Pedro is the Mandalorian Din Djarin who runs around the galaxy with Baby Yoda. He also appeared in the Book of Boba Fett, which I also have to watch for Boba and for Her Majesty, Ming-Na Wen. Now, I have been quite vocal of my love for The Last of Us and my hate for The Last of Us 2. I absolutely did not watch the show, especially not season 2. Like, why would I want to see Pedro die again? However, I did watch the series premiere episode just to see, and Pedro is so good at portraying Joel. I may have to watch select episodes just for him and maybe for my crush Gabriel Luna. He has been nominated for a Golden Globe and Emmy and actually beat the Men of Succession for a Screen Actors Guild Award for the role of Joel. Daddy is the best of the best. Some other films Padre has done in the last several years include Freaky Tales, Materialists, Gladiator 2, Eddington, and The Wild Robot as the Fox. I watched that whole damn movie, by the way, and I did not know that was him until after. He also played a comedic version of himself in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That film is meme culture right there. Now, you don't need a theater background to be a good actor, but the ones that do have a heavy background in theater, especially those Brits, especially the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts alumni, they know how to do a class act. Something about their on-screen performances just hit different. Theater is just the purest and oldest form of acting there is. Actors that love theater and have been on and off stage professionally, I have extra respect for. Daddy not only has 20 professional theater credits to his name, Papa has done Shakespeare, and not just Shakespeare on Broadway. Pedro portrayed Edmund in King Lear in his Broadway debut in 2019. He's also done Hamlet, Macbeth, and Much Ado About Nothing, as well as many other professional productions, including some off-Broadway, and even has written and directed a few plays. So, mad respect to Dad. Theater kids are superior, and so is he. Now, Father's most recent endeavor has been as Mr. Fantastic in the new Fantastic Four movies. I'm a retired MCU fan, so I don't plan on watching, and I don't even know if it was good or not. Like, I have not followed the film or fan response at all. But hey, if he doesn't die, this just means the MCU are obligated to get him and Oscar Isaac back together. I might see whatever that Marvel installment would be, whether it's for Moon Knight or Doomsday or the bromance content to follow. Cider House rules. Pedro Pascal was the star of the week, so I thought it would be a good idea to talk about a movie starring Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin beat the shit out of me.
Well, nah, he doesn't star in it, but it's baby Kieran Culkin as an orphan. I'm talking about the movie Cider House Rules, a movie about orphans and abortions. This is not a movie or book a Christian pro-lifer can stomach, which is every reason why they should watch it. First of all, American Michael Caine shook me when I first heard his voiceover at the beginning. I'm so used to hearing Brother speak British, I was not prepared, and I had to take a moment to accept that it was him. Obviously, Michael gives a solid performance here. Professional seasoned British actor could never do wrong. Princes of Maine, Kings of New England. Best line in the movie. When you are with a group of orphans who feel abandoned and unwanted, it doesn't take much to make them feel special. The staff members have done such a good job making this orphanage feel like a home. It was a rarity in any timeline. Toby was great as Homer. Homer's story was very important. Obviously, he was the main source of moral conflict as he disagreed with the doctor. Cider House Rules also played out as Homer's coming-of-age story. He knew nothing outside of the orphanage and took a chance to see more of the world. As much as I support the doctor and his morals, Homer's view was so narrow. He needed to chill as an apple picker in the countryside of Maine. He had to befriend a lovely couple who willingly went for an abortion. He had to befriend Rose and be present during the most traumatic moment of her life. He saw good, bad, and really ugly, and all in between. When the doctor died, it was time for him to come home and carry on the legacy, to keep allowing women the right to choose, to take care of the princes of Maine and the kings of New England. This brings me to my soapbox moment. The topic of abortion is always a difficult conversation to have, but at least it's talked about. However, I don't think the topic of orphans or foster care is talked about nearly as much. It's a topic adjacent to abortion, and I argue more important as it correlates to the lives of children actually born, with exposure to the harsh realities of life, coinciding with an understanding of these realities and struggle to deal with it at such a young age. They need to be heard. I'm sure it feels morally sound to be pro-life, but it isn't. Why try to carry a fetus to term just for you to give them away so they can feel unwanted their whole lives? Not every orphan can find a family and a happy ending. If orphanages were more common, they would be overrun right now. I have friends that work for the foster care system. They love to talk about how overwhelmed and understaffed they are because there are thousands of kids to worry about. Now, many orphans/foster kids are under weird and probably temporary circumstances, but many are not. Many are born and placed immediately in the system, or they suffer at the hands of their unprepared parents until CPS comes and rescues them. Pro-life people are just pro-fetus. They don't advocate for the health of the mother, if it's a high-risk pregnancy. They don't care if a child is forced to live a long and depressing life, jumping around the foster system, hoping to be adopted someday. Pro-lifers are so ignorant, it's sickening. Also, banning abortion will just lead to more instances like that teen girl from the beginning of this movie. Not having access to a professional and safe abortion will result in underground, unsafe abortions that could lead to many women's deaths. Women deserve to have full access to their own reproductive rights, or it will lead to life-threatening results. Not just life-threatening either, but mentally crippling. I understand if Christians want an abortion restriction, but laws like the 6-week limit seem to only punish irresponsible adults. I've heard plenty of stories of those outside the 6-week limit areas that were not granted abortions under the circumstance of high-risk, life-threatening emergency situations and the circumstance of rape and or incest. This was a situation so serious that even pro-lifer Homer conducted an abortion procedure to help his friend, going against all of his own beliefs so Rose could have the choice of whether or not to carry her rapist father's child. I am pro-choice, and after watching Cider House Rules, you will be too.
That's it for this week. Be sure to follow this podcast and please follow my Twitter and blog at Hollis Films to follow my journey experiencing the entertainment industry's greatest stories. And let me know what you've been fangirling over this week. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you again next week.